Alright, welcome to the video. I don't want to waste any of your time with an unnecessarily long intro. Very simply, this is my full console settings guide for Battlefield 2042. It applies to all PlayStation and Xbox models and to a degree controller players playing on PC. They've been in very high demand when I've done them on previous games and had a lot of positive feedback, which is great, so here's another one. I'll go through all of the stuff that I feel is important and I feel qualified to talk about, with the main aim being to help you to find your best settings rather than do what most other guides do, where they simply say this is the best, this is what I do, so do this. That doesn't work. And if I discover anything or change anything, I'll make an updated guide at a later date. If the video helps and you want loads more Battlefield content to help you to improve and keep you entertained, then subscribe and join the friendliest community in all of Battlefield. Want great taste and the all-natural energy boost that I personally use every day? Try Sneak Energy and use creator code GGG to support the channel. Link in the description. Thank you for your support. Alright, I'm going to try to be thorough but brief because there's a lot here. If you look at the top left, I'm starting here at General and I'll be working my way through. Let's get going. We start at Invert All Vertical Look. I have this off. You only want this on if you like your stuff inverted. What that means is if you press up on the stick to look down, for example, like with a joystick or something, or in a plane. I don't do that, most people won't do that, so off for most people. And then these are basically all that as well, but for different things. If you only want it for planes, you would put it on here and have the rest off. Camera shake scale, I have down at 50, basically down at the bottom. If you want the cinematic experience, then maybe whack it all the way up to get lots of shaking around for explosions. But if you care about your performance or avoiding motion sickness or something, get it down as low as you can. Right. Hints for controls on, just because the game's new, in case I don't know a control, up to you. None of this is particularly important. If you don't want to see any player created content, whether it be something that offends you or I don't know, whatever, then turn that off. I've got it on. Allow followers. This allows other players to follow you from lobby to lobby. I have this off because I'm a content creator and I don't want to be stream sniped. It's up to you if you want to be found or not. Let's now move along to display at the top. Ready? Boom. Okay. My field of view is set to 95. Now, quick point here. The information I currently have is that the menu in BF 2042 is supposed to be the same as or very similar to BF5 in terms of the values. I don't know if that's actually correct, it's just what I've been told. So I'm working with that information at the minute. What I suggest you do is what I did. Go to BF5 settings if you played BF5, take pictures of all that, and then go and replicate what you had in there in this game. If it's the same, great. If it's not, you can start tweaking once you find out whether you need things higher or lower. So, my field of view is 95. I try and keep my field of view quite high so I can see more around me without getting the super fishbowl effect, because you don't want to be trying to look everywhere to spot different angles. Instead, just running forwards and having a wide field of view is always beneficial. Vehicle third person field of view, same thing, I've whacked it as high as I can for this one. ADS field of view, this is really important for some people. So, if you've seen me play or lots of other content creators play or whatever, you may have been like, how is it they don't have any recoil? Why is it that it looks like they're just laser beaming people? Well, partly it's due to recoil control and knowing how to play the game and stuff like that, but a key point is ADS field of view. What this does is, it doesn't zoom you in as much when you aim down sight. It keeps it relative to whatever your field of view is up here, pretty much. So you lose some zoom magnification, maybe you don't want that. If you don't want that, then fine, turn it off. But if you don't mind that happening, what it does is it reduces your vertical recoil, so it's easier to aim in some regards, or at least looks it. And with automatic weapons, for example, it's really good. With a sniper rifle, it might not be so good because you might want to have the magnification still. So in that case, maybe you turn it off for snipers, on for other stuff. It's up to you to play around with it. Go and find out. But that's what that does. I highly recommend you try it on and give it a go if you never have before. It might make things better for you. Brightness, obvious. Motion blur, I have this all the way down the bottom. Again, if you want a cinematic experience, maybe have it on. If you care about your performance, if you don't want to get motion sickness, stuff like that, turn it all the way down. And my same rules apply for all of these. If you just care about your performance, the performance of the game, then I turn everything off. Go and play around with them if you want, but this is what I highly recommend. I'm now going to move across to Hud General. Okay, show HUD on. You only want this off if you're playing like HUDless, if you want that genuine experience, or you want to do a HUDless video or something, or a challenge. But if you want to actually know what's going on and see your ammo count and the minimap and stuff, obviously have the HUD on. HUD Motion, I turn this off. I want as few things moving around on the screen as possible. I just want everything still, so I have it off. If you want it on for some reason, cool. Camera shake scale, same thing. Cinematic, maybe whack it up. If you don't care, all the way down. Stop it from shaking as much as possible, from explosions and things. There we go. I don't know if we've already covered this, by the way. A lot of these settings are repeated in different places, so if I go over things a couple times just to make sure, just allow it. I'm just trying to do my best for you. Soldier compass, always on. I don't know why you'd want the compass off, to be honest. I mean, I guess you could do. It's up to you, but I always have the compass on. Sorry, I'm trying to. It's a lot of talking, trying to swallow and breathe and stuff. Show vehicle seat, just shows the seat you're in the vehicle. I have that on, your choice. Colorblind, I'm not colorblind. If you are, then you got different options. You can see which one works best for you. Or if you just prefer the colorblind settings, then cool. But I'm not, so I leave it off. The kill log on. I don't know why you'd want it off. Some people say have it off. I'm yet to work out why, but I always have it on. I want to know what's going on around me. And I set mine to nearby, so I know how the flow of battle is going near me. Because if you're playing on a huge open map, to me, it doesn't really matter if someone kills someone across the map. But near me, I want to know if my allies are getting lots of kills, or the enemy, or if my mate I'm playing with got a kill, stuff like that. Move on to Crosshair. Crosshair Opacity. I want the crosshair to be as obvious as possible. So there we go, full, all the way up. Crosshair Projection. This one has confused me so far, I need to play around with it. I'm just going to read what that says, okay? When enabled, the crosshair is projected. So when it's on, it's projected, and can lessen the feeling of motion sickness caused by certain camera motions by keeping the crosshair focused on where the player is aiming at in the world. When disabled, so off, the crosshair is static and always aligned with the center of the screen. Now my confusion is, are you not always aiming at the center of the screen? Or does it sometimes the aim, like if you turn really quickly, does it move it off the center to the right if you're looking right or something? I don't know. I honestly don't know, so I'm going to have to play around with this. But I've got it on because I do get motion sickness. And as it said in there, it might help to avoid it. So I want to avoid it. Very simple. Makes a lot of sense, right? Onwards. Crosshair thickness. Honestly, if you look here, I don't know if this is broken. I go to thick and nothing changes on the right. It's the same. But if I go to thin, it changes. I don't really know. So I definitely don't want it thin. I want to see it. I want to make it really obvious. But I don't know if I want thick or default. It doesn't let me see. I don't know if thick is the default. Thick is the default setting for some people out there, physically. But that's by the by at this point. Okay, crosshair color. I always have mine green. I get a lot of people come and ask me on stream how to change it because they like it. This is where you do it. I think it stands out more against the environment, even against grass and stuff, because I'm using a bright green than using a white one. But it's purely personal preference. There are scientific studies about green being a good color for attracting your eyes and blah blah, but I'm just used to it at this point. You can change it to whatever you want, but the standard one is white. It won't let me, I don't really understand. I can't get to hit indicator opacity. So, there's no point in really talking about that here, but I would probably keep that 100% anyway. Hit color, I have mine white. You can change all these things for what you want. I've just replicated what I've used in some previous Battlefield games. So, when you get a hit, when you shoot someone, mine goes white. I can't get to damage-based shape either for some reason, so cool. Alright, headshot color. I'm going to have this blue in BF 2042, so I know when I've hit a headshot, different to there. So if I hit a headshot and I see it, I know that I maybe only need one more bullet to the body to kill someone because it might have done enough damage, blah 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 blah. My kill color is red. Armor indicator I can't get to for some reason. I don't know if the menus are just broken, whatever. But I'm going to have my armor hit indicator as yellow, so I know when I'm hitting someone with armor. Right, I'm going to move across to minimap now. I've tried to replicate what I had in BF5 as much as possible. So I'm leaving that normal, minimap, background opacity. Rotate with view, I always have this on. I like to try and line up enemy targets that are spotted on the minimap as I'm moving towards them. So I look at where they're positioned in comparison to where my arrow is pointing, so I know that I'm going to be looking directly at them when I hit the corner or something like that. If you don't want that for some reason, then turn it off, but I always think it's beneficial to have it on. It is personal preference though. My minimap view distance is 150, this is higher than the standard. I want to see more of what's around me on the minimap. That's the sole reason. Same thing with ground vehicles, and then same with air. I'm up at 250 for that one, but that's the basic premise. I'm now going to move across to sound. Okay, this is so much talking. I hope you guys appreciate this. Master volume, I've just left it up. Music I've turned off because I'm a content creator. I don't really want the music on the background when I use my own music in videos. If you want the music, cool, blast it up, have a good time. Sound effects, I have those at normal, which is 100. In-game announcer I've turned down to 50, again just because I'm a content creator. I don't really want the announcer blaring out during all my videos. I'll play around with that and see the actual volume that I want it the more I play. It's up to you where you want yours. Sound configuration, usually you can change this, it's just because I've got this set here, but I'm on stereo because I think I've got stereo headphones? I should probably check that. I don't know if I've got stereo or surround sound headphones, no clue. But anyway, I've gone for 3D headphones here. If you're using headphones, go for something headphone-wise, unless it's not really working with the sound, sometimes it doesn't, in which case war tapes some people recommend. It shows you on the right hand side what the different ones do. Just give them a play around if you can't find one that you want to begin with. I'm going to start off on 3D headphones and see how I go. Hit indicator, so when you shoot someone, whether it gives you a sound, a hit marker noise basically. In the beta, it had BF1 available, but you couldn't select it. I was going to choose that because I love BF1, but it's not here now. So I always recommend you have this on anyway. I don't know why you'd want it off. If you do, cool, but like getting an audio response hitting the target seems like a good thing to me personally. In-world radio music, I've got this off again just because I'm a content creator. I don't know what the music is. I don't want to get a content claim. I don't want music playing and mixing with my own music. That's the only reason. If you want it on, then cool. I'm going to move across subtitles, nothing to see here, I have these turned off. If you want them on, great, and then you got the size of them, as shown there. But I have them off. And now I'm going to move across to controller, and take a deep breath. Okay, soldier controls, I have these at default. I'm not going to go through all the different stuff here. It shows you there on the right hand side what happens when you change them, okay? If there's a specific thing you use, then absolutely go for it. And you can also change the custom if you want, so you can just set it all to exactly what you want. But I have default for that. What I do change is soldier buttons, where I have alternate, or however you want to pronounce it. Because you'll look here, what it changes is it puts crouch, slide, prone, stuff like that on the right stick. I have used this for years and years and years. I think it's just better. When you compare how often you're going to slide, crouch, lie down, compared with how often you're going to melee, I think it's much better to have it on this way. Panic knifing is pretty much a thing of the past in a lot of FPS games. So my melee is now on B, and I crouch with the right stick. It's up to you what you want, but if you never tried it before, maybe give it a go. It does make movement much, much better on controller, in my opinion, because you're not having to take your thumb off the right stick to go to the B, to slide or whatever. You can just do it on the right stick. If you watched me stream, and you've seen me sniping with a infantry rifle, say the Lebel on BF1, and I would take a shot and instantly hit prone to avoid the enemy fire. That's how I'm doing it, because I'm using the right stick. I just think it's better. This I will leave the same because it's vehicles and I don't really use vehicles, but again, it does show you what it does if you change them. I don't think I really need to go through it. You can find what it is you're personally looking for. A la Lionel Richie. If you don't understand that reference, that is perfectly fine. I'm going to move across to global now. Ready? Ba-boom. Thank God there's not much on this menu. Invert vertical look for soldier. Off. Already talked about all that. Controller vibration. I would recommend you turn this off, even though I have it on. I will explain. If you have it off, you're dealing with less stuff that your hands are trying to deal with. So if you're trying to aim and you've got vibration going on, there's an argument it makes it a bit more difficult. Me, I can't play with it off. I'm so used to having it on, it feels completely alien to me to play with it off. I just can't do it. I like the feeling of it vibrating when I fire a weapon. I like it to vibrate when I get shot by someone, just another instant response to know I've got to get to cover. I just can't play with it off, but I would definitely recommend trying it off to see if it works for you, okay? Onwards to on foot. Right, this is all the stuff here where it's basically up to you. This is what I use, you can take a look, but I wouldn't necessarily recommend, in fact I don't recommend you just copy mine. I know there's going to be creators out there that just say, this is what I do, this is the best, use this, these are the best settings. No, there's a reason why different creators use different settings, different players use different settings. It's because you need settings which are good for you. So have a look at this, but definitely base it on what you think you need. My soldier aim sensitivity is 50. If you feel like you're overshooting the target, turn your... Well, actually, sorry. This is for when you're not aiming down sight. This one for you just running around, okay? But if you feel like you're turning too quickly, turn it down. Turn too slowly, turn it up. I don't do invert. My field of view we've covered, I believe. It is field of view we covered. Soldier aim assist. If you want less stickiness, turn it down. If you want more stickiness, turn it up. So when you're on target and it holds onto them, if you're on 100, it'll hold them more. If you have it lower, it holds them less. Soldier, aim, zoom, snap. This is where you aim near them, and then it corrects and lands on the target. If you want that, you can whack it up as high as you want. If you don't, have it down low. Perfectly up to you. Completely your choice. Ignore people that say you should do one or the other. It's completely up to you. It really is. Don't care what other people think. It's in the game. Soldier sprint. I have this on toggle. I don't want to have to hold down the stick to sprint. I just don't think it works very well, but if you do, great. On toggle, you just press it in and press forwards, and you'll start sprinting until you let go of that, essentially, which I think is much better. Double tap forward to sprint. I don't use that. Some console Minecraft players like that, I think, I remember. If you want it on, basically, if you double tap forwards on the sprint, you'll sprint. I don't want it. Sprint button, obvious. Sprint to vault over. I have this off. If I want to go over something, I'll press the button. I don't want to accidentally be vaulting things and stuff like that, but up to you what you want. I will say that sometimes, I did find, whenever I've had this on previous games, sometimes, I'll be trying to interact with something and then trying to shoot someone and it will make me vault over something. I just don't like it on FPS games. Always use Traversal Sprint. No. Using Traversal Sprint, I think, affects your aim down sight times or something like that. It's still very early on in the game, obviously, but it has a negative impact. So I want to choose when I Traversal Sprint. So to do that, what I would do is I'd sprint and then press it in again, and then I'd Traversal Sprint rather than it being automatic all the time. I think having the option is just far better. I don't know why you wouldn't want to be able to choose. So I have mine off. Again, up to you. I'm going to keep saying it's up to you. Soldier weapon zoom, hold, standard for almost everyone. If you do just want to press the trigger or whatever you aim with, and then press it again to de-scope, fine. Steady scope, have this on hold. It could be argued putting it on toggle is better, because then you can just press it, and then you can aim normally without having to press in, because holding in and aiming can be a bit of a pain. The reason I have it on hold is because I don't want to press it in to then try and acquire the target in case I've got to react really quickly. That's all. It's up to you. Again, it's all up to you. Soldier zoom aim, I'm on 100. It's up to you what you want. Parachute auto deploy, got that off. I want to choose when the parachute deploys. Apart from if I spawn on something and then the plane is crashing, or I'm falling through the air, sorry, rather, and I need to have the parachute instantly to not die, then I maybe want to have it auto deploy on my spawn when I don't have enough time to decide for myself. Quick throw grenades, this is contentious. I don't know what to do with this yet. I haven't yet decided how I want it. Quick throw grenade, when you have it on, is you press up on the D-pad or whatever button you've assigned, and it will just throw them straight away. If you have it off, you can then pull out the grenade and then decide to cook it and throw it, stuff like that. I might play around with some custom controls to switch the button that it's on and then see how that reacts. I'm not sure, maybe LB and then my plus system on the D-pad, not sure. Something I'm considering, something for you to play around with, perhaps. Revive interaction, very simple. I'm going to press to revive and then press it against cancel rather than hold it. It's up to you. Request skip revive, got this on hold because I'm used to that from other games. Up to you. Reload hints, just in case I forget. Yeah, I've got them on. Up to you. Aiming left, right, acceleration. Right, so as it says there on the right hand side, if you liked it as it was in Battlefield 4, if you played BF4, you probably want it set to 0. If you want aiming, I'm literally going to read this bit, if you want aiming with full acceleration as it was in Battlefield 1, my favourite BF so far, set the value to 100. Now I do play with 100 aim acceleration on games that have acceleration. A lot of people don't recommend that. I probably don't recommend that. Basically what it is the longer you hold it for, the faster you'll spin. Whereas if you have it on 0, it will spin or turn at the same rate no matter what. Instantly, after 10 minutes, it doesn't matter. So it's up to you what you want. Vertical aim ratio, I think I basically left this all the same from what I can remember. If you want to tweak things, go for it. What this does is if you have it lower, it, and again to read this, dampens the vertical input to aid with finer controls when compared with horizontal. So if you have this really low, your vertical is a bit more precise, whereas your horizontal, looking up and down, is a bit faster, a bit more instantaneous, however you want to look at it. I'm just used to this. You might want to do the thing that some people recommend where you have them equal, so 100, so that looking up and looking to the sides is exactly the same. Could be good for your muscle memory. I'm not doing any of that because I'm just very used to how this feels, but at least now you know what the two things mean. Uniform soldier aiming, I have this on, again, a contentious point. Some people choose to just specifically set all their values on different things, different zooms, different weapons, scopes, etc. Because they think that's good for muscle memory. Other people think uniform soldier aiming like I use, where it's all the same on everything, is good for muscle memory. Find what works for you. My recommendation, if you're not sure, is uniform soldier aiming, because it's always what's worked better for me. But I can't tell you exactly which one's going to be the right one for everyone. You might have to tweak around. If you do want to tweak around, you can come down here and start changing all these. I'm never going to do that. I'm so used to how it is. The coefficient here, the standard is 133 for some reason. Fine-tune the uniform soldier aiming, if enabled. A greater value results in a higher sensitivity at higher zoomed levels. The higher you have it, the faster it is. Simple. I'm going to finally move across to vehicles. You can just look at what I've got here. A lot of it is the same but for vehicles, so the same as soldiers but for vehicles. If you want to pause to see anything, go for it. But I think I've left almost everything the same because I don't really use vehicles. It's again completely up to you. The one thing I'll talk about down here is, well, two things. Uniform vehicle aiming, same premise as soldiers, so I've put it on. If you want it off, grand. And then vehicle aim relative controls. With this on, your vehicle will move relative to where you are pointing. So if you're pointing slightly off to the right with the turret or the front of the vehicle, whatever, the vehicle will start to move over there if you go forwards. If you turn it off, if you press forwards, it will go directly straight forwards, like in front of you, no matter where you're aiming or looking, let's say. It's just going to be down to however your brain works, okay? Controller tuning. A lot of this we've already covered in other bits, but I'll go down it. If we've already covered, I'll just skip through, but you can see what I've got. Central dead zone I've got on 10. The lower the value, the smaller the input you need on your sticks to make them work. I have them quite low. I want mine pretty low so that it's instantaneous reaction. So if I look to the left on my stick, it does it almost straight away rather than me having to input very much. If you have really bad stick drift on your controller, you might want to up it. You might want to put it down. What I would recommend, to be honest, is if you've got steady thumbs, you don't accidentally push things, get it as low as you can, see where the marker is before the stick drift, so if it starts to look around the map without you pressing the stick, and then just up it until that's not happening anymore, so it's as responsive as possible. Make sense? Grand, I hope so, because I've only got so much voice left in me. Axial dead zone. Set how much the horizontal and vertical values cancel each other out when pushing an input to maximum values. I've just left this completely normal. If you want to alter how much it's different between vertical and horizontal, then you can move it up and down. That's going to be a thing you need to tweak around with. But I think I've left mine exactly where it was. It's always worked for me. These I have changed. For the triggers, if I pull down to aim or pull down to shoot, I want it to happen as quickly as possible. So if you have these up high, you need to press more in order to get it to react. And dead zone, similar sort of stuff, okay? So I just have mine down as low as possible. If you are accidentally firing, then up the amounts. If you're accidentally aiming in, up the amounts. Stuff like, if you've got a dodgy controller, you might want to up the amounts. But if it all works fine, have it as low as you can manage. We move on to accessibility. Okay. Menu narration, off. Not explaining some of these, they're really obvious. Convert incoming voice to text chat, I've got it off. Colorblind is off, we've done that. Motion blur, done that. Hud Motion, done that. Off, done that. Crosshair Projection, we covered that I think. Yeah, we did that, did that. I don't know why these things are repeated in lots of different menus, I think it's more confusing than anything. Subtitles, did that. Controls, I think we covered all of this. Yes, covered all of that. We move on to controller mapping. This is just, you can go through and set different buttons for different inputs, much like you could in the previous menu that we saw. It's completely up to you. My favorite phrase for this video. And then extras, there's nothing there. All my days are finished. Jesus Christ, like and subscribe, okay? If you enjoyed that, these are not easy, man. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed. I got so much more content coming for you. Thank you for watching the video. Here's the board of awesome for the epic people that support the channel on Patreon. Thank you so very much for your support. And also the people that support via being members by hitting the join button below, and they get exclusive channel perks as well. You can do the same if you want. With that all said, look out for my videos and streams. I hope this helps. Come back and let me know how the settings help you out. I'm GetGoodGuy. We've been great, and I'll see you next time. I think I combined my video outro and my streaming outro there. Whatever. Laters. It's a beta build that is apparently quite old. Whether you believe that or not, I don't know. I'm not getting involved in that discussion, but apparently it's quite old. Also, Battlefield tends to have a lot of bugs at release anyway. I'm going to expect there to be loads. I don't defend that. I'm purely stating that it's the case, so you should also expect it.